Okay, good morning students. Today let us carry on with lesson number 2, acids, bases and salts. Now as I told you, मैंने पहले भी बोला है कि ये lesson बहुत ही important है. This one is an important lesson. और मैंने ये भी बोला है कि chemistry you see is a lesson, all chemistry lessons. Even if you, once you pass and go to 11th and 12th science, those who wish to take science, you better understand one thing. Chemistry will require a lot of hard work. Okay, every single line you got to read, एक एक line पढ़नी पड़ती है, and you have to try and digest that information. Okay, you will have to make your own notes. Start learning how to learn. Study in such a way that you can reproduce it in the exams. Okay, you cannot be spoon fed every time. Spoon feeding, हर चीज में spoon feeding नहीं हो सकता. As you grow up, you have to learn to depend upon your own self. And what I am doing right now for you is trying to help you to study better, to learn better. You have to develop a habit of studying properly. Okay, a good routine, a good system बनानी पड़ती है whereby you can learn and learn on your own. Minimum help is required from the teacher. Otherwise, in higher classes you can't possibly score good marks. And remember, chemistry. This is chemistry, acids, bases, and salts. You will have to pay attention to every single line. Small questions, short questions, and MCQs can be asked from anywhere. Alright, so acids and bases and salts, we are doing this chapter. Now let's proceed further. How do metal carbonates, for example zinc carbonate, calcium carbonate, magnesium carbonate, they are called metal carbonates, and metal hydrogen bicarbonates, calcium bicarbonate, CaHCO3, that is calcium. Calcium is a salt, or rather calcium is a metal. Calcium is a soft metal. Okay, zinc is a hard metal, but they are all metals. Okay, sodium bicarbonate, excuse me, sodium bicarbonate, zinc bicarbonate, calcium bicarbonate, they are all called hydrogen carbonates or bicarbonates. You call them hydrogen carbonates, HCO3, or you call them bicarbonates. It's the same thing. Okay, now how do they react with acids? Now obviously carbonates and bicarbonates will react with acids in a different way. For example, they may actually evolve carbon dioxide. Okay, because HCO3, okay, C and carbon and oxygen are a part of bicarbonates. So when acids react with them, carbon dioxide is going to be evolved. Alright, now let's conduct an experiment here. You can see here, passing carbon dioxide gas through calcium hydroxide solution, CaOH twice, calcium hydroxide solution. When calcium hydroxide is dissolved in water, you get an aqueous solution of calcium hydroxide. Alright, now you can see this experiment which is set up. There is a retort stand, the white retort stand. Okay, thistle funnel. Look at the shape of the thistle funnel. The upper part, it is shaped like a small pot, and that's why it's called a thistle funnel. Okay, then there is a rubber cork. This rubber cork is called a two-holed cork because there are two holes. Sometimes you can have a one-holed cork also, depending upon what experiment you are conducting. But in this case, we require two tubes inside the rubber cork, and therefore there are two holes for it. So a two-holed rubber cork. Okay, one for the thistle funnel and the other for the delivery tube. Alright, now then there is of course a hard glass test tube. Okay, the hard glass test tube is slightly different from a soft glass test tube. The name indicates that hard glass test tubes are much harder and slightly heavier. You can carry out heating in such hard glass test tubes. Alright, then dilute hydrochloric acid is taken inside. Okay, and sodium carbonate, Na2CO3, sodium carbonate is taken inside this. Small solid pieces of sodium carbonate, they are mixed with dilute hydrochloric acid, and you can see the position of the delivery tube. It is slightly above. It is not dipped in the solution. Remember that. It is not dipped in the solution, it is above, where the gas collects and then passes through the delivery tube. Alright, so slowly gas is produced, it passes through the delivery tube, and you can collect it in a separate test tube. Okay, calcium hydroxide solution is obtained there. You can see that calcium hydroxide solution is there in the test tube, in the second test tube, and the gas, carbon dioxide gas, is bubbled through that, through calcium hydroxide solution, which is taken in a separate test tube. Alright, take two test tubes, label them as A and B. Take about 0.5, okay, half a gram of sodium carbonate, Na2CO3, in a test tube A, and about half a gram of sodium hydrogen carbonate, that is NaHCO3, or sodium bicarbonate. It is also called sodium bicarbonate, in test tube B. add on 2 milliliters of dilute hydrochloric acid to both the test tube. What do you observe? So what you have done is added 2 milliliters of dilute hydrochloric acid to both the test tubes. One test tube which contains sodium carbonate, the other test tube which contains sodium bicarbonate, NaHCO3. Okay, then pass the gas which is produced through the delivery tube. The gas which is obtained through the delivery tube is passed through a calcium hydroxide solution or lime water. Pass the gas produced in each through lime water. What is lime water? It's a solution of calcium hydroxide, as shown in figure 2.2, and record your observations. Now if you see carefully here, okay, the reaction is shown there. The reaction occurring in both the cases, okay, the reaction occurring in above activities, that is in A and B test tubes. Test tube A, sodium carbonate solid pieces. When they react with dilute hydrochloric acid solution, you get sodium chloride, which is in the dissolved form. That's why it's aqueous solution of sodium chloride. Sodium chloride is of course common salt, plus water plus carbon dioxide gas is evolved. In test tube B, when sodium bicarbonate reacts, you again get sodium chloride, you get water and carbon dioxide. You can see the products are the same in both the cases. The amount of products may depend upon the quantity, but in both the test tubes you have taken equal quantities of both and you have reacted with hydrochloric acid. Both equations are balanced and you can see the products are the same. And the most important product in this is carbon dioxide. The gas evolved is carbon dioxide. Okay, carbon dioxide does not support combustion. So if you collect carbon dioxide in a separate glass jar and if you put a lighted candle inside it, the candle will get extinguished because carbon dioxide does not support combustion. Okay, on passing carbon dioxide gas evolved through lime water. When it passes through lime water in the second test tube, okay, you can see which is held in the hand, जो हाथ में पकड़ा है वो test tube. It contains lime water or calcium hydroxide solution. When carbon dioxide passes through it, it becomes milky. Okay, calcium hydroxide solution is slightly milky from the beginning, but very light. Okay, you can actually see it quite clearly. It's not crystal clear, but it is quite clear. The moment you pass carbon dioxide through it, precipitates, white PPT are formed. PPT means precipitates. These white precipitates are actually of calcium carbonate, CaCO3, solid white particles of calcium carbonate, and that is what causes the lime water to become milky. If you do the same thing, for example, जो हाथ में पकड़ा है calcium hydroxide वाला test tube, okay, if you take a straw, जिससे हम पेप्सी से पेप्सी पीते हैं, okay, straw को मुंह में रखो और ये मिल्की ये कैल्शियम हाइड्रोक्साइड सॉल्यूशन को ले लो, उसमें बबल करो, blow it inside that, okay, from your mouth what is going to come out? Carbon dioxide is going to come out. You will see slight coloring or white precipitates in that test tube. The same thing, you don't need to produce carbon dioxide by this experiment. When you breathe out, you are breathing out carbon dioxide. So if you take a straw, okay, पेप्सी पीने वाली straw, मुंह में रखो और दूसरा एंड ये जो हाथ में पकड़ा है वो टेस्ट ट्यूब में रखो, you will find that as soon as you blow it in it, carbon dioxide from your mouth, that is from your lungs actually, it goes into the calcium hydroxide solution and the same reaction takes place here. You can see lime water, calcium hydroxide plus carbon dioxide, okay, which you have breathed out, it forms calcium carbonate plus water. So the precipitate makes it appear milky. Okay, the same thing. So carbon dioxide is a gas which will make lime water milky. Alright, now let us see this. Let's continue. On passing excess carbon dioxide, the following reaction takes place. Calcium carbonate plus water plus carbon dioxide. Now excess amount of it will form calcium bicarbonate solution in water, CaHCO3. Limestone, chalk and marble are different forms of calcium carbonate. Calcium carbonate, CaCO3. All metal carbonates, zinc carbonate, calcium carbonate, magnesium carbonate and hydrogen carbonates, magnesium bicarbonate, calcium bicarbonate, okay, they all react with acids to give a corresponding salt, calcium carbonate, magnesium carbonate and so on, carbon dioxide and water. Thus the reaction can be summarized as follows. Now see this, okay, this is what I want to tell you, that always learn the general reaction. See what I have written there. This is a general reaction and should be memorized. Which is a general reaction? नीचे देखो, metal carbonate, okay, for example NgCO3, CaCO3, they are metal carbonates, or metal bicarbonate, that is calcium bicarbonate, CaHCO3, MgHCO3, plus an acid, dilute acid. Generally dilute acid, we don't take concentrated acids in this case. Dilute acid, dilute HCl, dilute HNO3, dilute H2SO4, which is added there. Okay, a few drops only will be required. You don't need too much of it, about 2 or 3 ml, 5 ml at the most. It will give the corresponding salt. If calcium is used, you will get calcium carbonate. If magnesium is used, you will get magnesium carbonate. If zinc carbonate, then you get the corresponding salt of zinc. Plus carbon dioxide plus water are evolved. Now you see, in chemistry, as I have said, general reactions must be memorized. See, I have written that this is a general reaction and should be memorized. Try to learn. ये जो general reactions है उसको लर्न करना चाहिए. स्पेसिफिक रिएक्शन ऊपर जो दिया है वो स्पेसिफिक रिएक्शन है. स्पेसिफिक रिएक्शन लर्न करो, ठीक है, कर सकते हो तो अच्छी भी बात है, लेकिन जनरल रिएक्शंस लर्न करना चाहिए क्योंकि स्पेसिफिक रिएक्शंस तो बहुत होते हैं केमिस्ट्री में. सो इफ यू लर्न अ जनरल रिएक्शन यू कैन राइट एनी स्पेसिफिक रिएक्शन. But many students don't know even how to write a chemical reaction. They don't know how to balance a chemical reaction. They don't know how to write the molecular formula for compound. And this is where the problem starts. Okay, so make an effort. Chemistry will require a lot of effort. Students of 11th and 12th in standard who have taken science and who are doing chemistry, वो chemistry में ही गड़बड़ कर जाते हैं. क्यों? इसलिए नहीं कि केमिस्ट्री बहुत टफ है, इसलिए नहीं कि केमिस्ट्री में बहुत कुछ, लेकिन केमिस्ट्री में प्रॉब्लम ये है कि बहुत लर्न करने जैसा है, मेहनत चाहिए इसमें. ओके, इसी तरह से इस सब्जेक्ट में भी तुम्हें मेहनत करनी पड़ेगी, तब मार्क्स आएगा. ये मत सोचना कि ये नहीं करवाया ने वो नहीं करवाया टीचर ने. डोंट ब्लेम टीचर्स एंड डोंट ब्लेम एनीबॉडी एल्स. यू हैव द टेक्स्ट बुक, यू हैव गॉट गाइडेंस फॉर इट. मेक एन एफर्ट. इफ यू मेक एन एफर्ट तब जाके मार्क्स आएंगे. Okay, this is the absolute truth. इससे अलावा कोई और सच्चाई नहीं है. Alright, then let's carry on forward. Alright. See, how do acids and bases react with each other? Now this is the important part. Okay, reaction of an acid and base with each other. How do acids react with each other? Acid and a base. Remember, acids and bases have got different properties. Okay, acids produce hydrogen ions in aqueous solutions. Bases produce hydroxyl ions in aqueous solutions. In other words, an acid produces H positive ions, hydrogen ions, whereas a base produces OH negative ions, hydroxyl ions. Okay, these two ions neutralize each other. That means an acid and a base neutralize each other to form salt and water. Such a reaction is called a neutralization reaction. Okay, so a neutralization reaction is a reaction in which an acid reacts with a base to form salt and water. Alright, now we are going to study that part just now. Alright, just let's see. Alright, so what is neutralization? Neutralization is a reaction in which an acid reacts with a base to form salt and water. Alright, take this activity 2.6. Take about 2 milliliters of dilute sodium hydrochloride solution. Sodium hydroxide is a powerful or a very strong, it's a very strong base. Okay, just like HCl is a strong acid, sodium hydroxide is a strong base, potassium hydroxide is a strong base. Take about 2 milliliters of dilute sodium hydroxide solution in a test tube and add 2 drops of phenolphthalein solution. Phenolphthalein is an indicator. It is generally pink in color. What is the color of the solution? Add dilute hydrochloric acid, that is a few drops of HCl solution to the above solution drop by drop. When you add an acid, ओके, देखो एसिड में कुछ नहीं डालना चाहिए, एसिड डालना चाहिए. एसिड हाथ में से एसिड धीरे धीरे, वो इंक का ड्रॉपर होता है ना, धीरे धीरे एक ड्रॉप दो ड्रॉप, एक साथ में एसिड कभी ड्रॉप नहीं करना चाहिए बिकॉज इट विल स्प्लैश. ओके, उसके छांटे उड़ेंगे और इट कैन बर्न योर स्किन. सो व्हेन यू ऐड, don't add water to acid, add acid to water. It's important to understand the difference. Never add water to an acid, add acid to a water. और वो भी धीरे धीरे एसिड को ड्रॉप बाय ड्रॉप ऐड करना चाहिए so that it does not splash. Okay, so add dilute hydrochloric acid solution to the above drop by drop. Is there any change in color in the reactional mixture? Why did the color of phenolphthalein change after addition of an acid? Why? Because you see sodium hydroxide is a base. As soon as you add acid to it, it becomes an acidic medium. Okay, acid and base actually gradually neutralize each other and it becomes neutral. Okay, now add a few drops of sodium hydroxide again the base it becomes more base than an acid. Does the pink color of phenolphthalein appear? Yes. जो स्टार्टिंग में पिंक कलर था, जो मैंने बोला था पिंक कलर होता है फेनोल्फथालीन का, ओके, इट विल रीअपियर अगेन। जब हमने एसिड डालना चालू किया, धीरे धीरे वो पिंक कलर गायब हो जाएगा। द पिंक कलर, because of the base solution, the pink color of phenolphthalein will gradually disappear when you drop acids into it. अब drop by drop, धीरे धीरे फिर से ड्रॉप बाय ड्रॉप सोडियम हाइड्रोक्साइड उसमें डालेंगे तो पिंक कलर वापस आ जाएगा। ओके, सो phenolphthalein changes its color, okay, from pink to colorless in an acidic medium and from colorless to pink in a basic medium. Okay, so that is important to understand here. Okay, I'm just adding a note out here. Okay, just adding a note out here. In an acidic medium, the color of phenolphthalein, okay, the color of phenolphthalein in an acidic medium, phenolphthalein is colorless, and in a basic medium it is pink. Alright, just a few corrections out here. The spelling of color, you see, this is generally an American, okay, American spellings, इसलिए वो U use नहीं करते. American spelling is COLOR, while the British spelling, our spelling is COLOUR. Okay, so in an acidic medium, the color of phenolphthalein is, okay, I should not write, in an acidic medium, phenolphthalein is colorless, and in an acidic medium phenolphthalein is colorless, and in a basic medium it is pink in color. Now this again it should be memorized. Okay, so here in an acidic medium phenolphthalein is colorless, while in a basic medium it comes back to pink color. Alright, so after this, look at just below that. In the above activity we have observed, that the effect of a base is nullified by an acid. Okay, they neutralize it. The reaction taking place is written as follows: sodium hydroxide solution reacts with hydrochloric acid to produce sodium chloride, which is a salt which is dissolved in water. That's why it's an aqueous solution plus liquid water. Now this reaction between an acid and base is called neutralization reaction, because an acid neutralizes a base. In general, neutralization reaction can be written as follows. Again you can see here, general reaction, base plus acid, acid plus base gives salt plus water. Now this is the most important as well as the easiest to remember. In chemistry there is no more easier reaction than this one. An acid reacts with a base to give salt and water. For example, sodium hydroxide plus HCl gives NaCl plus water. Okay, the salt of the metal, if sodium hydroxide is used, it gives a salt of sodium. If magnesium hydroxide is used, then it gives the salt of magnesium. Okay, reaction of, now we come to the next part of the chapter, reaction of metallic oxides with acids. Alright, even if I am going slow in this chapter, doesn't matter, because this is an important chapter. I don't want to rush through it. As far as question and answers are concerned, I'll give you a PDF. All the questions will be there in that. But let's understand the whole chapter first. Reaction of metallic oxides with acids. Okay, take a small amount of copper oxide in a beaker and add dilute hydrochloric acid slowly while stirring. Metallic oxide, for example, magnesium oxide, calcium oxide, potassium oxide, they are all metals, and their oxides are called metallic oxides. Calcium oxide, potassium oxide, magnesium oxide, copper oxide, cobalt oxide, and so on. So take a small amount of copper oxide, CuO, in a beaker and add dilute hydrochloric acid slowly while stirring. Constantly, you see there is a glass rod. It is made of glass, so it's called a glass rod. In the chemistry lab, that glass rod is used for stirring. उसको stirring करने के लिए glass rod छोटा सा होता है, उसको use करते हैं. So take a small amount of copper oxide in a beaker and add the dilute hydrochloric acid slowly, drop by drop, and then constantly stir it. Okay, जैसे रसोई में, किचन में कैसे स्टरिंग करते हैं, चमची से, बड़े चमचे से, इसी तरह से धीरे धीरे स्टरिंग करो. Note the color of the solution. What has happened to the copper oxide? Now copper oxide is generally dark brown in color. Okay, as soon as you add acid to it, its color begins to change. You will notice that the color of the solution becomes blue green and the copper oxide dissolves. Okay, so now copper oxide is dissolved in the solution, and copper chloride or copper sulfate may be formed. Copper sulfate is blue green in color. Okay, here we have used hydrochloric acid. Since we have used hydrochloric acid, you will get copper chloride, CuCl2, salt of copper, and that is blue green in color, and that the solution color will change. The blue green color of the solution is due to the formation of copper chloride in the solution. The bracket में जो दिया है 2 Roman numerals ने, it shows that valency of copper is 2, Cu2 positive. Okay, copper can be, it can have 2 or cupric has got valency 3, copper oxide has got valency 2, but cupric has got valency 3. Okay, so the general reaction between a metal oxide and acid can be written as metal oxide, for example MgO, magnesium oxide, metal oxide, plus acid, for example HCl, gives metal salt, magnesium chloride, plus H2O, water. Again, this is a general reaction. So we have come across 3 general reactions today. Acid plus base gives salt plus water. Metal oxide reacts with an acid to give the corresponding salt of that metal plus water. These are the general reactions you must learn. Anyone who wants to learn chemistry. I know there are lots of students who get fed up with chemistry very quickly. I understand that, but those who want to study science next year, you better get used to this. Okay, there is no shortcut here. Anyone who says that हाथ ऊपर करके बोल देते हमको समझ में नहीं आया, गलत बात है. Okay, मेहनत करनी पड़ती तब जाके समझ में आता है. Alright, फिर आगे देखते हैं. Alright, let's carry on. Now write the valence equation for the above reaction. Okay, acid plus base gives salt and water. Magnesium oxide, salt of magnesium oxide is an oxide of the metal, plus an acid HCl gives magnesium chloride MgCl2 plus water. Okay, now write and balance the equation for the above reaction. Since metallic oxides, MgO, metallic oxide reacts with an acid to give the corresponding salt and water, similar to the reaction of a base with an acid, metallic oxides are said to be basic in nature. Okay, actually there is another reason also. You see, metallic oxide जैसे कि for example magnesium oxide, magnesium oxide को पानी में dissolve करो तो magnesium hydroxide हो जाता है, and magnesium hydroxide is a base. That is why metallic oxides are considered basic in nature. Alright, see, I have written here one thing. Metallic oxides are basic in nature. Write the general reaction and a specific example of this. I'm just going to add something here. Okay, I'm just going to add a few things here. Just 1 second. See, if I want to add something here, I have to unlock it. Generally, metallic oxides when dissolved in water form the corresponding, okay, metallic oxides when dissolved in water, they form, metallic oxides when dissolved in water form the corresponding metal hydroxide. A hydroxide is a base, and this is why metallic oxides are considered as basic oxides. Alright, now read this again carefully. See the second paragraph. Metallic oxides when dissolved, for example magnesium oxide, metallic oxides when dissolved in water form the corresponding metal hydroxide. When magnesium oxide is dissolved in water, it forms magnesium hydroxide, and magnesium hydroxide is a base. In other words, metallic oxides produce metallic hydroxides, and that is why they are considered as bases. Okay, just the same property is there. So once again, see, this metallic oxides are basic in nature. Write general reactions. I just told you, magnesium oxide plus acid gives magnesium chloride plus water. Okay, and that is a specific reaction. Now metallic oxides are considered basic in nature. What is the reason? Simple. When a metallic oxide is dissolved in water, it forms a corresponding metal hydroxide, MgOH twice, calcium hydroxide, magnesium hydroxide, sodium hydroxide, potassium hydroxide. The corresponding hydroxide is formed, and that is why they are called basic in nature. Okay, There's another question here. Non-metallic oxides are acidic in nature, opposite of metallic oxides. Non-metallic oxides are acidic in nature, while metallic oxides are basic in nature. Now again, what is the reason for it? Simple. Say take calcium, say carbon dioxide. Okay, carbon is a non-metal. Okay, it's actually a semi-metal, but carbon is a non-metal. It is not a metal. So carbon dioxide is a non-metal oxide. ओके देखो वहां पे क्या लिखा है, नॉन मेटेलिक ऑक्साइड्स, जैसे फॉर एग्जांपल कार्बन मोनोऑक्साइड, कार्बन डाइऑक्साइड. व्हेन कार्बन डाइऑक्साइड इज डिसॉल्व्ड इन वाटर इट फॉर्म्स अ वीक एसिड, इट इज कॉल्ड कार्बोनिक एसिड. okay, since it forms carbonic acid, oxide of carbon, that is carbon dioxide, is considered an acidic oxide. So if a question is asked to you why is carbon dioxide considered acidic in nature, well, simple reason. When carbon dioxide is dissolved in water it forms carbonic acid. Carbonic acid is H2CO3. Okay, I'm just going to write here, just 1 second here. Okay, when carbon dioxide is dissolved in water it forms carbonic acid. Okay, it forms carbonic acid, and this is why it is considered a acidic oxide. So why is carbon dioxide considered an acidic? First of all, carbon is a non-metal, so non-metal oxide is carbon dioxide, carbon monoxide, non-metal oxides. When non-metal oxides are dissolved in water it forms acids, a weak acid. Carbonic acid is a weak acid. Okay, it forms carbonic acid, but remember carbonic acid is not a strong acid. It is not like nitric acid or sulfuric acid or hydrochloric acid. It's a weak acid, and therefore it is called an acidic oxide. But metal oxides are basic in nature. Okay, non-metal oxides are acidic in nature. All right, so that is the question, rather important fact out there. Okay, once again, so let us just see this, what is given out here. Reaction of metal oxides with, okay, this just covered this topic here. Metal oxides react with acids to give salt and water. Reaction of non-metallic oxide with base. Okay, now in the same way, just 1 second. All right, this part I just told you just now. Okay, this part I just explained to you. Now, and the reaction also. Reaction of non-metallic oxides with a base. How do non-metal oxides, for example, carbon dioxide is a non-metallic oxide. How does it react with sodium hydroxide? Sodium hydroxide is a base. All right. So let's go ahead with this one. You saw the reaction between carbon dioxide and calcium hydroxide, that is lime water. Calcium hydroxide, CaOH twice, which is a base. All hydroxides are base. Okay, reacts with carbon dioxide to produce a salt and water. Since this is similar to reaction between a base and an acid, we can conclude that non-metallic oxides are acidic in nature. Okay, non-metallic oxides are acidic in nature. This is what I have written there. Non-metallic oxides are acidic in nature, while metallic oxides are basic in nature. Reason भी दिया है इसमें. When carbon dioxide is dissolved in water, okay, it forms carbonic acid, which is a weak acid, and therefore carbon dioxide is considered to be a non-metallic oxide, which is acidic in nature. Alright, again there are some questions out here in blue. Okay, all these questions have been answered in the PDF. There are lots of extra questions also, which you will get after I finish the chapter. Okay, now what do all acids and bases have in common? Now you see, all acids are compounds are classified into different types based on properties. Acids are classified as acids because of some common property. For example, girls are girls and boys are boys. Okay, the male gender and the female gender. Okay, in your classroom also you have groups, boys and girls. Okay, those who prefer sports, those who prefer music, like that we make certain groups based on certain properties. So in the same way, certain compounds have got certain types of properties. What kind of properties do acids have? What kind of properties do bases have? All right, let's see a little bit. For example, you see all acids have one essential property in common. That is, when an acid is dissolved in water or when it reacts with water, it produces hydrogen ions, H positive ions. These hydrogen ions cannot stand independently. Okay, they cannot exist independently. They cannot survive. So they react with water to produce what is called hydronium ions, H3O positive ions. So when an acid reacts, a strong acid, especially like nitric acid, hydrochloric acid, or sulfuric acid, they are all called mineral acids. When these mineral acids dissolve in water, okay, when you add, again I told you, dangerous to add water to the acid. Add acid to water slowly, drop by drop. What will happen is reaction takes place and some hydrogen ions are liberated in the solution. H positive ions, that are hydrogen ions, or protons. Hydrogen ions, H positive ions means protons. They are basically hydrogen atoms which have lost the electron. So that's just nothing the nucleus of the hydrogen atom. They are protons. So these hydrogen ions liberated in the solution, in the aqueous solution, cannot exist alone, independently. So they combine with again with H2O molecules to form H3 positive ions. These H3O positive ions are called hydronium ions. Okay, so the presence of H positive ions, that is hydrogen ions or hydronium ions, gives the characteristic acidic properties of substances. Alright, now let's see. In section 2.1 we have seen that all acids have similar chemical properties. Okay, what leads to the similarity in properties? We show in activity 2.3 that all acids generate hydrogen gas on reacting with metals. For example, zinc granules. Okay, if you add dilute sulfuric acid or dilute hydrochloric acid to zinc granules, hydrogen gas is produced. All metals, when they react with acids, produce hydrogen gas. Now, of course, this is not completely true also. Okay, although metals do react. For example, certain metals are very reactive. Zinc, okay, very reactive metal. Sodium is also a very reactive metal. Sodium is a soft metal, but it is extremely reactive. Okay, sodium, potassium, calcium, zinc, they are reactive. But gold and silver, they are also metals. Gold, silver, platinum, they are metals, but they have very low reactivity. So will they produce hydrogen gas? You can't use gold to produce hydrogen gas. Gold is too expensive, and gold does not react easily. It is very unreactive metal. That is why it does not become dark. Okay, and that is why it is expensive also. So let us perform an activity which investigates whether all compounds containing hydrogen are acidic or not. But I see now experiment is shown here. Look at the figure first. Okay, see, I have written a question out here. Pure water is, it's not a question, just a short note. Pure water is neutral, although water does contain hydrogen. Remember, water is made up of two parts of hydrogen, one part oxygen, H2O. It contains hydrogen, but it does not liberate hydrogen ions, and because it does not liberate hydrogen ions, it is not acidic, and that is why pure water is completely neutral. Pure water does not form hydrogen ions, and it does not form hydroxyl ions, OH negative ions. OH negative ions are responsible for basic nature of solutions. H positive ions are responsible for acidic nature of solutions. But water, pure water, distilled water is considered pure water, which is used in the laboratory for experimentation. Pure water will not liberate H positive ions or OH negative ions, and that's why pure water is neutral, although it contains hydrogen. Alright, now look at this part. There is an experimenter, there is a diagram out here. Acid solution in water conducts electricity. Now if you take pure water, we have known this fact. For example, you should never touch the electricity board, okay, in your house, a fuse or anything. Never touch wires with wet hands. People have told you all the time, because when your hands are wet, it will conduct electricity. So people are naturally going to assume that water is a good conductor of electricity. Well, that's not completely true. Water is not a good conductor of electricity. But what happens is, water is impure. The water that we drink is not pure water. It contains certain salts dissolved in it. And because of the presence of these salts, water begins to conduct electricity. Okay, so for example, in this experiment, pure water is taken, then it will not conduct electricity. But the moment a few drops of acid are added to it, then because of the acid, hydrogen ions are liberated in the solution. And because of the presence of hydrogen ions, the hydrogen ions begin to move. And the movement of these hydrogen ions causes the movement of electrons. And that is how electricity is generated, or rather electricity passes through the circuit. Alright, look here, for example, see this setup. Okay, there is a 6-volt battery, a very small battery, 6-volt battery like the one which you use in your remote controls or things like that. 6-volt battery. There is a bulb, a small bulb which we use in a torch. Okay, that kind of bulb, not the one which you use in your house. Then a switch. Okay, a simple switch. There are those wires. There is a rubber cork. In the rubber cork, you put two nails in it and attach the nails to the wire. So circuit becomes completed. And then you have taken dilute hydrochloric acid solution. Okay, dilute hydrochloric acid solution, acid is a good conductor, and therefore it can actually allow electric current to pass through it. Alright, now as soon as you press the switch, the electricity will begin to flow. Why? Because circuit gets completed. As soon as circuit gets completed, electricity begins to flow in the circuit. Okay, and the acid contains hydrogen ions which allow the movement of ions, and therefore the bulb will actually glow. Alright, the bulb glows, showing the presence of electricity or passing out of electricity. Take solutions of glucose, alcohol, hydrochloric acid, sulfuric acid. In this case, instead of hydrochloric acid, take for example glucose or alcohol. Now glucose and alcohol are not acidic in nature, and therefore they will not allow the passage of electric current. But an acid, sulfuric acid or hydrochloric acid, they are strong acids. They liberate hydrogen ions in solution. They will allow the passage of electricity. Fix two nails in the cork as shown in this, in a 100 ml beaker, connect it to a 6-volt battery, a bulb. Okay, complete the circuit. Now pour some dilute hydrochloric acid in the beaker and switch on the current. Okay, you will immediately see that the bulb begins to glow. If you put glucose or alcohol, it will not happen, clearly showing that they do not contain hydrogen ions and they are not good conductors of electricity. Alright, the bulb will start glowing in the case of acids, okay, but not in the case of glucose or alcohol. Solution does not conduct electricity. Here you can see, okay, cash ions are positive ions, while anions are considered as negative ions. But you will observe that glucose and alcohol solutions do not conduct electricity. Glowing of bulb indicates there is a flow of electric current to the solution. The electric current is carried through the acidic solution by ions. Acidic ions contain hydrogen ions, cations and anions such as chloride ions. Okay, acids contain H positive ions. H positive ions are called cations. Negative ions like chloride ions, they are called negative ions. Okay, CH3COOH, this part here, CH3COOH, that is acetic acid. Acetic acid is also an acid, but it is a weak acid. Since the cations present in the acids, okay, this suggests that acids produce hydrogen ions which are responsible for their acidic properties. Repeat the same activity with alkalis like sodium hydroxide and calcium hydroxide, you will find that current does not flow. Okay, there is another one out here. Okay, hydrogen ions present in the acids are responsible for their acidic properties. Now that is important. The hydrogen ions, H positive ions present in the acids are responsible for their acidic properties. And here, okay, acids produce hydrogen ions in aqueous solution and hence they conduct electricity. Alright, and here cations are called, positive ions are called cations and the negative ions are called anions. Alright, this is enough for today. I don't want to make it too lengthy, but I will continue this lesson and then I'll give you the PDF with question answers. It's important to go through the whole lesson. It may take a little while, but this is an important lesson. Acids and bases. You can't cut short through this. और दूसरी बात है, घर पे करना पड़ता है. You have to read with me, understand it, and also learn the question and answers. Write important questions in the margin like I have written. Okay, if anybody has forgotten it, you can see this, what is written out here. Pause the video, write it in your book, underline and highlight what is necessary. Okay, otherwise you simply cannot. This one, okay, this way, and that is the way to learn. मेहनत करनी पड़ती है. Make sure that you continue to study. Alright, that's enough for today. Have a nice day.